Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to something different this time. War Thunder Ground Forces. Since War Thunder lifted their NDA, I can actually talk whatever I want about this game, show whatever I want. And I decided I will, since I got in the close beta only recently for the missions I did with the planes and shit. I have grinded up to the Tiger in the German line and like a couple of T-34s in the Russian line. But my first impressions on the War Thunder Ground Forces are that they're pretty damn good. They're actually better than I expected. They're more fun than I expected from watching other people's videos. So basically, I'm playing realistic now in the Tiger. The only real issue with playing realistic with the Tiger in closed beta is that the queues take forever. You can wait for up to like 10 minutes in the queue, which is really bad since the game lasts, well, mostly up to like 10 minutes maybe, not even that much. But that's not really a problem with the ground forces. That's more of a problem that it's still in closed beta, and this was like at 4 AM, so that also didn't help much, I guess. But the actual game, so it's more realistic. You can one-shot tanks, you can shoot tanks like 7 times and they won't die because you don't damage the things you need to damage to kill a tank. So in this game, aiming is actually really important. Shooting a tank's cupola won't do shit. It might kill the commander, it might kill like a loader or a gunner, but it will not knock the tank out. Shooting the driver's compartment might kill the entire crew and they all might die. So my first encounter here, T-34s, as you can see I have to lead the targets for myself. This guy stopped, boom, you're dead. Tiger 1's gun usually does not mess around, and when it hits, it fucking kills people, so you should not wait in front of this gun. And there's another one. This one I picked up an assist on. If you pause that footage, you can see what I damaged on the tank. This guy missed. As you see, you have to lead targets, so aiming includes way more skill than it used. It does involve tanks. Again, another kill. Another guy peeked. I aimed quicker than he did, and this guy in the background has really poor aim. So most of the Russians are driving T-34-85s. They're pretty decent tanks. They can't kill Tigers even frontally, but these guys didn't drive them very well and they kind of rushed in and just died. Picked up with 2 kills, which is pretty damn good. Trying to aim here, but that guy is not very well visible, and I think I didn't give it enough lead. So let's start with the things I like about both of the ground forces. So first of all, the aiming. I like this aiming. This is so good when you have to lead your shots. You have to lead everything. You don't get like penetration indicators unless you're playing arcade. The respawn system is kind of wacky. Like if you're a medium tank, you can respawn twice. If you're like a light TD up to tier 3 or whatever, I guess it's called a tier. So if you're a light tank, tank destroyer up to tier 3, like a flat panzer or whatever, you can respawn twice as well. If you're a heavy tank, like the Tiger, you can respawn only once, which is a bit wacky since Tigers can be one-shotted as well, but then again, I guess you pay for your bigger gun with the not being able to respawn, so you have to be really careful with your life, which is also fine. I don't really completely agree with it, but it's fine, I guess. So another thing War Thunder does an excellent job compared to World of Tanks is artillery. So how artillery works in this game is medium tanks and light tanks get a perk called artillery support, and what they can do, they can order an artillery strike, which is not very accurate, but if you are closer than 100 meters to your target, you can put it quite accurately on the target. It takes like 5 to 6 seconds to arrive, and the target gets notified that there's an artillery strike coming, so he has time to escape the artillery support, and if he's listening to his radio, he can always drive away and he's never gonna die to the artillery strike, but he's gonna move. So artillery strike stops camping, great success. World of Tanks haven't still managed to make Arty stop camping, and that's really the best thing about this Arty. It cannot kill people if they are actually aware of things, but it can lure them out, it can make them vulnerable to actual fire from the real tanks, which is great. In the historical and simulator battles you can pick planes as well. It is rather annoying when there's too many planes driving around, but then again, you can't really complain, I guess. The sound's much better than World of Tanks. World of Tanks haven't refreshed their sound design in like ages. These sounds are so much better. The graphics, the tank models, all of them are in HD. I don't know if they're better than World of Tanks HD models, but they're pretty damn good nonetheless. Pick up another kill, and the plane just dived into the ground, which is a bit worrying. But he missed both of our targets, so I guess they're fine. Another thing that it is in War Thunder but isn't in World of Tanks are bots. The T-26s I shot, those all were bots. They are not very well programmed. Most of the World of Tanks bots that PD players use are way better, but then again they kind of fall into a different category. So what I don't like about War Thunder ground forces. So first of all, some of the research paths might seem a bit dull because you have to play, like if you go the medium line on the Germans, you have to play like the same tank for 4 tiers. You unlock basically the same tank, which is a bit annoying. But other than that, problems go with some of the research as well. When you get a tank stock, it doesn't have parts to repair it, so basically if you get shot, most of the time you get some damage modules. And in the Tiger you often get your transmission knocked out in the first shot, and when you got that you have to repair it, and it usually takes like 30 seconds if you have the parts. But you don't have the parts when you're stuck, and to research parts you actually need to play. And when you play historical and you get shot once somewhere in the background by someone, and you get your transmission knocked out, you're kind of fucked. Because you have to wait till you can't move. That's over for you. You're not driving anywhere, which kind of sucks. I think they should have done a better job there. They should have gave the parts to everybody at the start. Fire extinguisher is the thing you need as well, but you need to research, and that's actually a bit harder to research. But it's not that big of a problem than as the parts is really. So as you see, the gameplay in this game is much slower, and you kind of have to think about your positioning way more. The enemy team was kind of reckless, so we wrecked them. And not that my position was super good, but that just the enemies didn't play very well in this one at all. And now I'm just looking for the last guy left alive in this T-34. Another thing that's slightly irritating is the fact that in realistic you get the players' outlines no matter how far they are. If they're like other side of the map, if you have direct line of sight on them, so if your shell could hit them, you'll get the player's name above his tank, and that's a bit annoying when you're like trying to play it like super realistically. I guess that's what simulation battles are for. But if I waited for this 10 minutes in the Q Thunder, I don't really want to wait 20 minutes for one game with 4 versus 4 or some shit in simulator. So I might do that when it comes to a live server, or at least open beta. But now it's just Q Thunder is too much for me. Other issues with War Thunder is balancing, but since it's still in closed beta, it's not that big of a deal. There's some really bad balancing issues though, like some tanks are super OP in the tiers they are, some tanks are really kind of lacking in the tiers they are, but then again it's still closed beta, I won't talk too much about it. But to name you some, T-50 in this game, it's a light tank with super armor that can scoot around, kill everything, and not get damaged by anything. It's kind of hilarious to play. Other than that, KV-1 obviously feels really strong. It kind of brings out challenge, but when they are driving like Panzer 3s against 3 KV-1s, there's not much you can do, and they more or less always one-shot you. So that's something to think about as well. They need to like adjust the weight of the KV-1 in the matchmaking, because now it seems that it's way too easy to get a KV-1 against like a Panzer 3 that is almost hopeless against it, even when shooting it in the sides. So that's something they should think about fixing, but as I said, it's still in closed beta, so it's still fine. So is this game gonna fuck World of Tanks in the back and take all of his customers away? I don't really think so. The game is too slow. The tank combat is slow, satisfying, unfair, and if you like that kind of thing, you like this game. But if you don't like unfair combat, then you probably won't like this. Like the main amount of times you just shoot somebody in the face, he gets a hit and then he shoots you and you explode in one shot is just frustrating. Aiming for a turret ring, always a good place to aim. And he is dead. He's gonna respawn though. He died the first time. Since he's a medium tank, he can respawn and go for us again. So am I going to ditch World of Tanks to play War Thunder Ground Forces? Well, I'm not going to ditch World of Tanks, but this is a nice change of pace, and I will enjoy exactly that. When you get RD'd a million times in a row in World of Tanks, just come to War Thunder and get RT'd by planes, I guess. That's another thing. Planes are quite strong. If you're playing like realistic and there's no A in your team, then you might be kind of sour. But I haven't been in that kind of game in my Tiger yet, so I'm not really complaining too much about that. But as a change of pace, this game is pretty nice. The tanks feel real, the turrets feel, like, the tanks feel great and big. Like, looking at a Tiger, it feels really like a big tank, nothing like World of Tanks where it gets like a puny gun sound and it looks like meh. This game really makes a tank feel like a tank. One thing I forgot to mention, the physics in this game are weird. I mean, the driving physics are cool. Turning with your brakes on is really cool. You can do like drifting with any tank really you drive, unless if you have enough speed. But the tank collision physics are so bad. They're like so bad. They get another hit on that gentleman. As you see, damaged a lot of his modules. His engine is down. He's just sitting there. And let's see who reloads faster. I'm pretty well angled, so I'm not really too worried. And get a kill. And he bounced. He didn't bounce, but he didn't kill me either. Talking about World of tank on tank physics, there's some stupid things happening. Like T-34s can drive around, ramp up German tanks when they ram him. So the German tank kind of flips, and they can shoot them in the belly. I'm pretty sure that wasn't how the Russians did it in World War II, though. And that should really need fixing. But other than that, the game looks kind of polished already. It's not far from being in open beta. They need to fix some balancing issues. They need to fix the physics. Really, they need to. If they fix the physics, the game can go in open beta. Yeah, that's the War Thunder Ground Forces for you. Unlocking some more modules on my Tiger. Pretty good game for me. Picked up quite a bit of kills. I picked up, what, 4 kills on the players? Or even 5 kills on the players and some bots as well, but who cares about that. Pretty close for my Tiger 2. I'm gonna play some games in that later as well. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this War Thunder content. Some of it might come to this channel as well. And I'll see you on the next one.